Little video here on the Wilderness Scout 3. I had mentioned wanting to do some testing on video, and I haven't got anything on video yet with that, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've done with it so far. This is a recent knife model I started making. This particular one is 5/32 inch thick in 80 CRV2 steel, which is a very tough steel, holds an edge well, and for uses like batoning and that kind of thing, there's no concern with the toughness of the knife if done properly. The blade, or excuse me, the edge length itself is 5 1/4 inches, and then the handle is 4 1/2. So it's not a small knife. It's not a large chopping size either. It's sort of an in-between, but I feel I've designed it so that it can be used for a wide range of tasks. And so I want to kind of talk about that a little bit in a minute here. But what I've done with this knife so far is completely field dressed and skin a deer, some fire building, batoning, that kind of thing, and so far I've been very happy with the way it's performed. But to talk about the design for a minute here, as you can see, the handle has a light, slight palm swell, gentle palm swell. I prefer nothing that has any heavy or stark protrusions in the handle, because those tend to be blister makers, and they just don't work very well. Personally, I do not like a pronounced palm swell anyway. So this allows you to grip the knife very comfortably and securely, and obviously there's the drop here on the Ricasso. It gives a very secure guard, very adequate for an outdoors knife. And then the way the handle is designed, as you can see, it tapers smaller to larger as you get towards the back, and this disallows your hand to slip away from the blade as you're gripping it like so. So it's a very secure grip. And this is a olive drab canvas micarta with a smooth finish, but if you're not familiar with micarta, it actually gets more grippy when it's wet, and the more you use it, the grippier it gets. This blade thickness is 5/32 inch thick, so plenty tough in this steel, as mentioned. Lanyard hole, which is handy if you're in deep snow or water. You don't want to lose your knife. I don't tend to use lanyards otherwise, but it's very good to have if you're in that kind of a situation. One of the features of this knife design is it allows you to do sort of what you call a pinch grip, which is very common in chef's knives and kitchen work. But for different things like skinning or even food prep, because this definitely will handle both of those, that kind of grip allows you to essentially make this knife a 3 1/2 or 4 inch bladed knife in effect, and for certain tasks that's very useful. So the ability to choke up on the grip like that and still be securely protected from the edge with your fingers is, I believe, a really good feature. So that's another good thing about it. The blade, drop point blade, I personally believe drop point blades are the most versatile when it comes to outdoors use and such. It's got enough of a swoop to it for good skinning and different carving and whittling tasks. And then the point itself, the tip itself, is plenty stable, or sturdy I should say, for when it comes to drilling in wood for various different bushcraft or woodcraft tasks. So all of that has a purpose. Full flat grind on the blade. Personally, that's my go-to grind for an all-around knife. I really like it, and it just gives good cutting clearance because the grind comes all the way up to the spine. So you have your full thickness of spine here, but it immediately begins to taper, so it gives you that good cutting clearance, but while retaining the most material on the blade with that compromise. There's others that retain more material on the blade, but they are also thicker and therefore provide less cutting clearance. So that's the whole thought process behind that. Obviously, they're called loveless bolts. They're actual bolts that are holding the handle on with epoxy, so this is basically a bomb-proof construction on this knife. And yeah, I'm going to use it to start processing my deer I was able to harvest, and that's kind of a quick look at the Wilderness Scout 3. So far, quite pleased with it, and if you guys are interested, you can check it out on FireCreekForge.com or either of our Etsy shops, which there's links to our Etsy shops on our website, FireCreekForge.com. And appreciate you guys watching. Have a great day.